Hey everyone, this is a response to a couple of videos that Jeff Meacham of NoDQ.com did. The first one I want to talk about is Nexus. Now, I do agree with him that Nexus is probably one of the best storylines they've had in a while, probably one of the best stables they've had. It's a unique stable, as a matter of fact. I mean, Nexus, to me, is something that not a lot of wrestling companies do. Yeah, you might say WCW did something similar with the New Blood. Well, let's face facts. New Blood was a combination of young wrestlers as well as some veteran wrestlers that never really had an opportunity. Nexus is mainly a group of young rookie wrestlers that are basically stating the point by saying, hey, look, we're not going to wait our turn. We're not going to spend years wrestling in this ring and bleeding and getting ourselves injured just so we can get an opportunity to be in the main event, or just probably get the opportunity of being told, hey, it has been nice knowing you, here's your future endeavor, or whatever. I think this is probably one of the unique things WWE has done, because they know they have money right there with these young wrestlers, these young rookie wrestlers, and by putting them in the main event, putting the spotlight on them right now, it's almost like, to me, it's like a test for Nexus that, believe it or not, despite how I feel about this whole John Cena being associated with Nexus and being treated like a slave to Nexus and all that, to me, Nexus is passing this test, like I said, that WWE has put in front of them, because to me, the wrestlers, the rookies that were a part of Nexus, like Skip Sheffield, Michael Tarver, and Darren Young, you haven't seen much of them, right? Yeah, Tarver and Sheffield are out with injury, but Darren Young, you see mainly or occasionally on Superstars. You don't see him on Raw. And the reason is because they, believe it or not, failed the test that WWE put in front of them as a part of this group. You see, the test is to see how they would deal with being in the spotlight, right, being put in the main event. Now, like I said, Sheffield and Tarver and Young, in my opinion, not because of just injuries, but also because they failed to pass that test. That is why they're not in the group anymore. And like I said, it's not just because Tarver and Sheffield have injuries. I'm sure if Sheffield wasn't injured, he'd still be part of the group. Sheffield basically is like the Batista of that group. But now we're going to see what happens when he comes back on his own. But to me, again, it's just all about a test that WWE is put in front of them, and Nexus is passing that test. The ones that are still in the group, Barrett, the originals, this is the original Nexus members, Barrett, Slater, Gabriel, Otunga, they're all passing the test that WWE has put in front of them of being in the spotlight, being ready for that main event, being ready to take that next level, being the future of the WWE that they can depend on and not worry in having to give the pink slip to. You know what I'm saying? So, what does the future hold for Nexus? To me, a lot of people are saying that Nexus could be done by the end of the year. I don't think so. This is the way I look at it. I think Nexus is going to be done at WrestleMania, if they go that long. That's what I truly believe. I think WWE is going to push it out to where Undertaker is going to be challenged by Wade Barrett if Undertaker's 100%. And Undertaker is going to beat Wade Barrett in a match with Streak versus the Nexus's future. So that's what I think is going to happen. But right now, to me, all it is a test that they are passing. The originals are passing. The two newer members, McGillicuddy and Harris, they seem to be passing. So that's all it is. That's all it is. To me, that's what it is, and the Nexus is doing. The original members so far are passing it. Like I said, Barrett, Gabriel, Slater, and Otunga, they're passing this test of taking that next step and being the future of the WWE, the future that they can depend on and not worry about having to give pink slips to. McGillicuddy and Harris, they're just starting this test. You know, they're just starting on their test, and sure, it may not be and sure, it may not be a year-long test or near year-long test like the rest of Nexus has, like the original members have had. But to me, if Harris and McGillicuddy can improve, that they too by WrestleMania would have passed the test and proven to WWE that they are the future they can depend on, and not the future that they're going to have to give a pink slip to. So those are my thoughts on Nexus. Now, as far as TNA goes, today's video he talked about the Immortal Fortune Jeff Hardy thing. Immortal Fortune, I'm still up in the air about this. I mean, to me, it's like NWO / New Blood combined. You know, that's what it is. And to me, it may sound like it's a good storyline and everything. It may sound like they're the Goliath of TNA, and everybody that opposes them is the David, and then eventually those that oppose them are going to find that slingshot and that stone and knock them down. But right now, to me, it's just, it may be a good storyline and all that, but to me, it's just a rehashing. It's like I've said many times, Jeff. It's a rehashing of NWO Evolution, whatever kind of deal. And to me, like I said, it's NWO New Blood merger. That's what it is. That's all what it is. Because think about this. They don't have many baby faces on to oppose them, right? I mean, Kurt Angle, Samoa Joe, Pope, RVD, what's left of EV2. Those are the only ones they have to oppose them. Then you take a look at what they had to do to make that side that opposed them stronger. They've had to turn Matt Morgan face, and they've turned Douglas Williams face. That's unexpected. Well, Matt Morgan probably not, because he's been there before as a face, but Douglas Williams, you wouldn't have seen that coming, but yet there you go. And then you bring Kurt Angle back, which is good, but you don't know what exactly is going to happen there. And then you're bringing Mr. Anderson back to be the special referee, from what I understand, at Final Resolution. And we don't know what's going to happen there. But here's the thing about TNA. You can make the opposing team a little stronger with the additions of Williams and Morgan. But then all of a sudden you're making this heel faction probably even stronger with the possible additions of Rhino and Bubba Ray. To me, again, I'm sort of on the fences about it. It's like, I want to enjoy it, but yet it just doesn't make any sense. To me, it's just like another rehashing. Of NWO versus WCW, New Blood versus Millionaires Club. When NWO looked like they were the Goliaths, they were the dominant force in WCW, what happened? WCW came back, knocked them down. Same thing with the New Blood. Millionaires Club looked like they were the David and looked like they were the underdogs. What happened? They came back and they knocked the New Blood down. You get what I'm saying, right? It's the same story in any kind of company. Yeah, you're saying, well, it's the same thing in WWE right now. Let me explain something. WWE, in the Nexus story angle, is balanced out. It's balanced out. Basically, like you said, it's a test. And it's balanced out correctly. It's what they need. It's balanced out to the point that you can enjoy it. This thing right now in TNA with the Immortals and Fortune against all these opposing TNA supporters and wrestlers just doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? And as far as Jeff Hardy's belt goes, it's like I've said before. I did a video on this. Anytime a heel superstar has a self-made World Championship belt presented to them, there's always an indication that that superstar, that heel, is going to lose the championship sooner than later. It may be in the next month, it may be in the next few weeks, it may be in the next 2-3 months, but you know they're going to lose that belt. I mean, look at Edge. Like I pointed out in that video I talked about that belt, when I talked about Jeff's new belt. Edge, when he had his Rated R Superstar WWE Championship belt presented to him, how long did he keep it? Barely a month. And he lost. You see what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? And if Wade Barrett, like I said, wins the WWE title, let's say he decides, oh, I'm going to put an N in the middle of the middle where the WE was, where the W was. Everybody knows if he does that, he's not going to hold on to the belt that long. Okay? But honestly, like I said, I've been on the fence about it. You know, I want to enjoy it, but I can't. So I don't know what's going to happen here. Unless something happens to where Jeff Hardy becomes a big enough threat, not just for TNA, but even for the group he's with, only then will I probably start watching it. Because I got a feeling, I'm hoping and praying that that's a positive turn, because maybe if Jeff Hardy gets out of control, I mean, they talk about something strange happening after Impact went off the air, right? Jeff Hardy was supposed to do some autograph signings. He didn't do that. He came out and insulted the fans and left, and they had to get a refund. What's that about? You know what I'm saying? If TNA does it correctly and plays off something like that, then I'll probably be interested in watching it live again, instead of downloading it, the episode and putting it onto DVD later on. Only then will I be interested in it. But as far as the championship belt goes, like I said, that's Jeff's design, that's Jeff's property. But again, anytime that happens, you know that heel champion's not going to hang on to it long. So, and honestly, it doesn't matter to me. You know, I don't like the design. I'll be honest with you, I don't. But that's his decision. That's TNA's decision. What are you going to do? I mean, we had to deal with Hogan spray painting NWO on the big gold belt, right? We had to deal with that for about a year. Why not deal with this for another month or two? But that's all I'm going to say. I thank you all for watching, and hopefully this response to you, Jeff,